Hey guys, what's going on? What's good? Junior here, and today I'm back with another album review. Today we're going to be looking at the new Eminem album, Revival. It just released, and as you can expect, a lot of opinions. Everybody's got an opinion, and I'm going to throw my opinion into this ocean. My teardrop is going to go into an ocean, and it's going to make a splash, and people are going to notice. So let's get this show on the road. Audiences are quite divided. People are saying it's the greatest album they've ever heard. Top 3 best Eminem albums of all time. Top 10 anime deaths of all time. You know? Some people are saying it's garbage. Now, first of all, I think that the biggest problem with this record is that it falls victim to its own massive expectations. Everybody has an opinion on what they want from an Eminem album, and nobody can agree on a single idea. Nobody knows what kind of Eminem they want. Do they want Slim Shady? Do they want a more mature, evolved Marshall Mathers? Do they want something in the middle? Do they want something completely new? Do they want him to go back to old school stuff to where he's ripping apart celebrities every day? I mean, it's just everybody has a different idea on what they think would be the best way for Eminem to come back. And then when the track list released, everybody was kind of weirded out by that. Why is there so many pop features? Where's the, the rap guests? Eminem, you're a rapper, celebrate, hip hop. I don't need any more soaring female pop stars. There's a lot of debate, basically is what I'm saying. And honestly, I gotta admit that I wasn't the hugest fan of the first 2 songs that were released for promotion, that being Walk on Water and Untouchable. I thought they were fine. I thought they were good songs, but they didn't really get me that excited for the album. Anybody who's hoping for a cohesive sound or style or flow on this album is going to be in for a surprise. Em did say earlier that there's going to be something for everyone on this album, and that's pretty true. And for better or for worse, that kind of means that the album is all over the place. Whether that be the production, the song topics, Em's rapping style, the beats. It was way too much for me to wrap my brain around after just one listen. However, after listening to the album a few more times, it actually did start to grow on me. I'm hearing more and more things that I like. I'm finding more interesting moments that I didn't notice the first time around. So let's break it down. Let's divide it into categories. First of all, let's talk about the beats, the production of this album. And I'm gonna be saying this a lot, so get used to it. There's a wide variety of sounds on this album. Its production especially is all over the place. Every time a new song rolls around, you don't really know what you're gonna get. Some of the songs are just minimalist instrumentals like Walk on Water or Offended that are really just there to kind of bolster and support Eminem's, bars. Then you've also got these songs that seem to be playing into these modern rap trends. Believe with its trap-inspired, hi-hat infused beat, and Chloroseptic with that boosted, distorted, heavy bass. Then out of nowhere, we'll get smacked right back into 2013 with Rick Rubin's, rock and roll inspired sampling. A lot of people seem to be hating on this choice of Eminem to rap over this rock and roll instrumental, but I actually liked it. Another notable song was Framed, kind of giving us that throwback to the Relapse era. And besides that, there's a few songs that have similar beats to Recovery. River incorporates some of that military inspired drum rolls. The song Need Me is a little over dramatic, but it is also at the same time kind of cinematic and comes together for a pretty epic chorus, which I did enjoy. As far as the production goes, the biggest problem I had with any of the songs was on the track Like Home. And I get that it's trying to inspire a sense of pride in the country and togetherness, bringing people together as Americans and as human beings. But at the same time, it's also first and foremost a diss track. Slap on a hard, dark, old school hip hop beat, let Em just ride that into the dirt. I just feel like I needed a bit more from that track as far as the execution went. Aesthetically, I could go for a bit more grit and anger. It just seemed too light and airy and didn't carry that much, weight. And as far as Em's flow is concerned, this is probably going to be the topic that, will divide people the most. A lot of people have been kind of skeptical of Eminem's flow over the past few years with the songs he's been releasing. It's kind of choppy, erratic, all over the place. Who really knows what to think. I guess if I can say anything about it, at least it's unique. Nobody really does this weird, bouncy thing that he's been doing, at least not that I know of. And look, I'm all for allowing artists to evolve and expand beyond what they started out doing, but I have to say I'm not the biggest fan of the weird choppy flow. The technicality is impressive, but I don't listen to Eminem because he's a technical rapper. I listen to him because of his wordplay and the message that he's trying to say, and his flow and his force of personality. I listen to him because I want to hear what he's saying. Like in the song Bad Husband, the hard stop in the middle of a sentence at the end of the bar at the beginning of the song is impressive from a songwriting point of view, but kind of makes it hard to understand what he's saying and comprehend it. And again, with Believe in Chloroseptic, like the beats, it seems like it was kind of playing off the idea of modern trap and, you know, hype rap music. That weird, choppy, off-kilter kind of flow. But if M has one hand up on any of these artists out there today, at least he's not just saying Versace, 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 or Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. If you listen, there's actually substance disguised in that kind of subpar delivery. But then out of nowhere, there'll be times when it just seems like he's just freaking killing the beat. Like he's just riding it really well. His flow is incredible. And these just seem to come out of nowhere. Fast and Offended. Both of those songs have great flows in them. Framed sounds like Relapse without the super heavy accents, which I'm all about because I don't care what none of y'all say. Relapse was an amazing album. And the chorus of Believe as well was pretty awesome, I have to say. Despite the rest of the song kind of sounding like a Migos ripoff, the chorus really elevated it. Almost like the opposite of the genre it's trying to emulate. I almost wish that after the first kind of trap style verse, it had just switched and stayed to that style for the rest of the song. Oh, and as far as the chorus of Offended is concerned, I'm not going to talk about it. You know what I'm talking about. It's hilarious, but I'm not going to talk about it. Moving on. Straight into the lyrics, the substance of the song. What's he talking about? Because as far as the actual lyrics and substance of the songs go, say it with me, there's a wide variety. It annoys some people, seeing as how the album doesn't really fit together tonally in any sort of cohesive manner. But of course it should go without saying that Eminem has some of the best wordplay in the game. The double entendres and puns and everything else that he's able to pull off is staggering. Each song is packed dense with all these little weird flips of words and meanings. Even after multiple listens, I don't think I've even gotten them all still. There's quite a few songs in this album kind of detailing the whole vulnerable side of Eminem, kind of his personal issues, his insecurities, his regrets about how he's handled things in the past. River especially was a pretty emotional song detailing some pretty personal issues. I don't know if it's an actual true story about Eminem, but you know, I'm sure the story that he tells in that song is true for people out there in the world. But then you'll get a couple goofy songs about Eminem trying to pick up girls, sandwiched in between extremely politically charged tracks. It's a real mixed bag. And every once in a while there'll be some real gems that shine through. Looking at the lyrics, Chloroseptic, despite the weird flow, has some pretty gnarly bars, and both Heat and Offended just have good wordplay. But of course, in this category, the highlight for me was Framed. This is what I want in a song. Dismembering toddlers, forgetting that you murdered celebrities and put them in your trunk, and then just finding them there. Amazing. Oh, as well, I should probably do a quick run through of all the features on this album, considering what a hot topic the track list was. So first off, we had Beyonce on Walk on Water. I actually thought that she fit very well with this song. I saw a lot of people saying that Skylar Grey should have done the hook for the song, that she sounded just as good, whatever. That may be so, but I think that the effect of the song is a lot better with Beyonce on the record because of just the topic at hand, talking about artists who have been elevated to an almost godlike status and have to try and appease their fans. Because say what you will about Beyonce and Eminem, they've both kind of reached that pinnacle of the highest point a performer can reach. Then the soul rap feature on this album, Fresher and Chloroseptic. I mean, he was just kind of there. He just added some gritty vocals to the chorus, just laid down some grime. Came through pretty well. I thought it fit the mood of the song well. It's just, you know, it is what it is. It's just, it was a rap chorus by some other dude. Ed Sheeran on River absolutely kills it. I'm a big Ed Sheeran fan. His voice, passionate, suits the tone of the song quite well. I know that Ed Sheeran's a stan along with the rest of us. It must have been a dream to work with Eminem. Congrats to him. That song's pretty good. I enjoyed it a lot. Then we had Alicia Keys on the song Like Home. It was kind of a pretty generic pop anthem chorus. It didn't really add anything to the song, I don't think. And I think if Eminem had just done the chorus himself, it probably would have played off better to me. But you know, that kind of just goes back to my issues with the song in general. I just wanted it to be a bit more gritty, aggressive, not just a soaring radio pop anthem. Then we got Ex Ambassadors on the song Bad Husband. I actually enjoyed this feature quite a bit. Them acting as kind of a medium of conversation between Haley and Eminem, and his inner thoughts on the subject. The vocals had kind of this grounded quality that I liked. Then we got Skylar Grey with Tragic Endings. She does fine. I don't mind Skylar Grey, though with the subject of the song and the kind of female pop hook, I kind of got vibes that this song is just love the way you lie, light, sipping on a light beer. They made a feature from Kehlani on the song Nowhere Fast. Never heard of Kehlani before. Probably not gonna check her out now because her feature kind of felt like, again, no purpose. It sounded extremely generic. Maybe hardcore Kehlani fans will enjoy it, but it just didn't really add too much for me. Then we had Pink. Surprisingly, I actually enjoyed her feature quite a lot, and I think the song structure kind of helps with that. Her main part takes up the whole first third of the song, and with Eminem just having a single long verse afterwards. Like I said, a little melodramatic, but I enjoyed it anyways. And that's kind of the features, and you know, my thoughts are a lot of what people were saying before the album came out. Very pop heavy. Alright, so if you've listened to the album, you probably have noticed that I haven't mentioned a couple songs. That's because I wanted to save it to the very end. Those two songs being Castle and Arose. And these two songs, I have to say, are incredible. They're telling two arcs of a story. The first one, Castle, is a letter to his daughter. There's an uncredited female vocal feature on here, which kind of sounds similar to the chorus on Stan, which is probably intentional, as they're both kind of songs from the perspective of, you know, writing a letter. It starts off when Haley was just born and Eminem was just on the come up, still struggling to make it. And I enjoyed it because it was kind of just a unique opportunity to see what was in his mind and what was going on in his life before his whole career took off. Then it jumps to 2007, I guess, you know, right in the middle when he was struggling most with drugs. And his flow in this part of the song is just incredible. And then it ends with him, you know, swallowing a bunch of pills, lead into a Rose. Close call, he's in the hospital. I guess he just OD'd. And this is from the perspective of him lying in the hospital bed. He thinks he's about to die, and he's kind of reflecting on all the different, you know, life milestones he's gonna miss, reflecting back on the past and his relationships with the people that are important in his life. His daughter, his mother, his best friend Proof, his brother. And throughout both of these songs, there's this motif of him wanting to rewind the tape. And the last time he says that, there is a rewind sound. It switches to a relapse style beat, which is the album he released, I guess, right after this overdose incident. And he repeats a part from the song Castle, but in a more aggressive style. And then he kind of changes it, and it shows that he's going to try and lead his life down a different path, leading of course to where we are today. Do yourself a favor. If you're not going to listen to this album, at least listen to these two. I think it's worth it. So final thoughts. Initially, yes, it was a little disappointing. I'm a huge Eminem fan. He's my favorite rapper of all time. I love his music. And I guess it is kind of our fault for putting these huge, unmatchable expectations on his shoulders. Ever since the Marshall Mathers LP, he's been saying, look, I'm not going to be able to top on My Name Is. And he says that in the Marshall Mathers LP, which is probably my favorite Eminem album. It's just like, what kind of album are we wanting from Eminem at this point? There were certainly moments in this album that I thought really shone through well when his flow was amazing, but it was kind of offset by the weird variety of other flows. Though I think that overall the variety was beneficial, even if I did have to kind of go hunting and look deep for those moments that really stood out. Because as I was saying before, even though it was initially disappointing, after a few more listen throughs, it's definitely grown on me. I've definitely started to appreciate the songs a lot more and just kind of enjoy them for what they are. Though I have to admit that the abundance of pop features was a little too apparent, as was the lack of any notable rap features on this album. Overall it worked, but man, how sick would it be if this was just a straight up hip hop to the core album? Because at this point, Eminem, who cares about mainstream appeal? Who cares about radio hits? Make an album with legends from the culture that you are basically championing right now. So yeah, I think that, but then I also think back to the, you know, the end of the song Offended, and he talks about where if he was paid for the time he spent to put pen to the page, that he'd be making minimum wage. Kind of puts into perspective how much time and energy and how much of his life has just been poured into hip hop and making music. And I think that's something that sometimes we forget, is that he's truly given his life to the game, and I'll always respect and love him for that. Where I'm sitting right now, I think I'm feeling 7.5. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. That's just my, it's just my opinion, guys. Let me know what your opinions are. We can have like a discussion.